So I wanted to talk today about how important it is to find your genius. And what I mean by genius is the thing that you were born with, an identity, a seed of identity that you were born with. And if you think about a seed, just to begin with, just any seed, an acorn, a seed from a flower, it's kind of a paradox, isn't it? It's at once a complete thing, and at the same time, it's supposed to be something else. So what do you do with that? You take the thing that's complete, and you, in this case, the seed, you put it in the ground, and it kind of disappears, and it does some mysterious thing, and all of a sudden it starts to become something else. So the paradox is that the seed is at once complete, but yet incomplete. So when you take genius, we are born, before we get conditioned, before we learn all the stuff from our parents and from our our surroundings, from our environment, we are something already. And my take on it is that this something is basically an expression of the universe or creator or God or whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter. Something's creating this amazing universe. So we're part of that. And our genius is something that's pre-programmed in us, like in a seed, a set of qualities, a set of talents, a set of gifts, if you will. Things that are there from the beginning that we have in seed form that are meant to become a further expression of that. And so this further expression is what finding your genius is all about. So let's say before we got conditioned, before we got wounded, and everybody gets wounded in our lifetime, whether it's a small wound or a large wound or many large wounds, wounding happens, and what that means is we have a genius path, and the wounding takes us away from that and kind of subverts our path into something else. And what most of our lives actually become about at that point is healing those wounds. And we have all kinds of things that happen to help us to try and heal those wounds, and our unconscious effort is to heal the wounds. So in searching for genius, we have to go back to what we were already kind of laid out as, what we already are in seed form, in our genius seed. And so that takes a different type of effort, and a lot of times we don't know we need to make that effort until we start feeling this kind of dissatisfaction. And weirdly, it happens right around midlife. Anywhere from like late 30s to early to mid 50s, we feel this dissatisfaction with how our life is going, mostly because unconsciously we have been trying to heal our wounds this whole time that happened in childhood. So the idea of the seed, the genius seed in us, needing to be expressed is a natural thing. When we're responding to our genius, when we're responding to this feeling of, oh, something's not right, we're actually responding to the original seed form of ourselves that is wanting to become the fully realized plant, if you will, or expression that it was meant to be. The paradox of being something already and then not knowing how to be the further expression of that is the human dilemma. Being a seed of something, being the seed of an expression of something greater, which we can call the universe greater than ourselves. Why not, right? The universe expressed us. We popped out of our mother's womb or some means we were born, and we were already something. That something is a seed. That seed has potential, and that potential has a dream along with it of what it's supposed to look like when it finally comes to fruition. So what does this seed want to become? This is where it gets really interesting. So if the universe expressed us as a seed, where there's a further expression of that same universal expression, what is it supposed to be? Well, this is where our free will comes in, because we get to actually approach this situation through how we feel about something. And so we know when we land on a genius quality, a genius talent, a genius calling, by how it feels. And so some have explained it as, oh, I entered a state of timeless time, of kairos time, when their time is suspended. I'm just in this present moment. People call it the zone. We know that when somebody is in their genius, they are embodying something that is perfect for them, and you can see that. I've noticed this in my therapy practice. People will, all of a sudden, their posture becomes straight. Their eyes widen a little bit. They speak a little bit more quickly and a little bit more loudly. They speak with a sense of authority. And you can tell this is important to them. And so as we're looking for this, and as we're looking for how to like allow our genius seed to continue its expression in our adult lives, we've got to look for these qualities where no matter what, I'm going to be doing this. No matter what, I will be playing the piano, or I will be writing, or I will be gardening, whatever it is. Something that is just, no, this is part of my life. It's not about making money. It's not about anything other than this feels right for me to be doing this. So in developing this seed, in developing this genius calling, in furthering this expression of the universe that we started out as, we've got to hone in on how does it feel. Knowing what it feels like to be on the right track is kind of a foundation of how you want to start approaching this genius and developing this genius seed. So another thing that's really good to look out for is, oddly enough, that sense of dissatisfaction. So when we are dissatisfied with our life, and a lot of people are from time to time, and maybe a lot of people are for their whole life, it's not supposed to be that way. The trick is, with genius, a sense of dissatisfaction is a message. It's a message that you're not on your path. You're not on your genius way. You're not on the trail that leads to the further expression of what you're meant to be. Genius is about expressing with your life. This seed of identity that we are is meant to be expressed as a further expression, as a more mature expression, as something with more complex, with more complexity, with more nuance, with more depth, with more character. And so our genius expression isn't complete as a seed. It needs to keep moving. And as far as I can see, it needs to keep moving for our whole lives. Genius is what we express, and it's also how we express it. So in our seed, in our genius seed identity, there's not only things to express, but there are ways to express those things. And they're all unique to us. So even though you're not going to be the only person that plays the piano, or the only person that gardens the way that you do, or the only person that writes the way that you do, even though you're not going to be the only person, you're going to be the person that does it the way you do it. You were meant to be here. We don't know why. It doesn't even matter. But the thing is, you're here. You are here to be a specific thing. Doesn't mean you're going to save the world. It just means the universe cared enough about you as an expression to put you here. And so our job as kind of a co-creator with the universe is to say, okay, thanks, and now I've got to keep going with this expression. It's kind of my job to keep going with this expression of who I am. The first part has been given. The second part is a creation. It's a creation, and it's a personal expression. So my take on all of this is that we're given a genius seed, and it's up to us to know what to do with it. And no one teaches us this, and that's why I'm trying to do that. I wish I was taught this as a kid, and I wish I was taught this as an adult. And through a lot of just, trial and error and lots of pain and suffering and struggle, I'm making the genius way as a way to address this issue of how to express the unique things that we were born with. And so that's what I'm offering this video to you as. It's like an encouragement. That's important to me, to encourage others to express themselves as who they are. Oddly enough, this self-expression, when done in the way and in the path of the genius that we embody, somehow is always a benefit to others. I don't know why that is. It's just kind of one of the mysteries that I've discovered in this journey. So until next time, spend time looking for, uncovering, and expressing your genius, and allow that to be a blessing to the other people that you come in contact with.